All right, this is the second extension lesson, 2-2, on negative exponents. So negative exponents are, detach the keyboard real quick. Negative exponents are simply, they're not quite simple, but they are just the reciprocals of positive exponents. And when we're talking about reciprocal, of course, because I know you totally remember what reciprocal is from lesson 3-6, I think it was. Reciprocal means that you are flipping the fraction. So there are two situations that you can run into, two different cases. And the first situation is if the negative exponents, so negative exponents are a problem. Why? Let's talk about that. So expressions, we can make this so we're not writing ginormously. Expressions with negative exponents are not considered simplified. Weird. So that's why we have to learn how to deal with this, because expressions that have negative exponents are not considered to be simplified. So we need to learn how to deal with them so they can be considered simplified. And so what you're going to do here, basically, moral of the story here, is you're just basically changing the placement of the base with the negative exponent. I think that makes sense. This makes more sense when you see it in action, I promise. Changing the placement. That's what we're going to focus on. Changing the placement. That's the focus part of there. So the two situations, the two cases that I brought up earlier is if it's in the numerator, which again is the top, just in case you're not up to speed on your vocab. So here, I can turn this into a fraction like I can turn anything into a fraction and put it over 1. Which means that if I were to change the placement or flip it, the negative exponent is located on the top of my fraction, so I need to change it, I need to flip it so it's on the bottom. So I'm going to have a 1 on the top because I can't have nothing up there, I need to have something up there. And then the x is going to come down the bottom, and when it comes down to the bottom, it becomes positive. Changing the placement changes the sign. Ooh, that's a good one. We should write that down. Changing the placement changes the sign of the exponent. Yeah, that's a good one. Double star that one. So like here in this first example, I had the negative exponent on the top, I changed the placement of it to the bottom, and so it became positive. The second situation that you might run into is when you have the negative exponent in the denominator or in the bottom of your fraction. And in that situation, you're still just changing the placement, but instead of moving from top to bottom, you're going to move it from bottom to top. So here, note, I'm going to keep the 5 where it is. And I want to explain what's going on here, is that this 1 did not move up to the top. No, there was always a, times 1 up here because it can't be by itself. And there's still this times 1 down here. So it's not like I took that 1 and moved it up to the top. I only moved the x piece. Those 1s were always there to begin with. Um, ooh, it's in there. So again, you're only moving the piece that has the negative exponent. So my 5 doesn't have a negative exponent, so that's going to stay on the top where it is. The x to the negative a does, that's going to move to the top. So on the top, I have 5, and now I have x to the positive a. What do I have on the bottom? Well, I have that 1 on the bottom, which can then just get simplified because anything divided by 1 is that anything. So my final answer here being just 5x to the a. Notice the 5 didn't need to move because the 5, well, the exponent on the 5 is, remember, if I don't see an exponent there, we assume that it's that positive 1. So 2 situations, we'll take a look at them in some examples.